Hi guys, and welcome to this video for Unit 6, Paper 3. These series of videos will be concentrating on Unit 6.3. So we will start off by looking at the success of international civil society organisations. We've looked at civil society organisations, but it's always good to remind ourselves what a civil society organisation is. So this is an organisation which does include charities that sits between the private sector and the government. So they're the third type of organisation. These include local movements and organisations of people and associations. They can also include church, mosques or synagogues as groups, so there's a religious element there. But for our purposes, the main group of civil society organisations will be charities. The charity that we're going to look at is the World Wildlife Fund. And in particular, we'll be looking at the success of those international organisations in achieving their goals. So all the way through this unit, we have looked at the importance of local and global resilience. And we all know that bad things do happen. So of course, the government and the private sector do have a very important role in working towards building up resilience. But the government does have certain priorities, and most certainly the private sector does have certain priorities. So sometimes that does mean that it's in conflict with some of the sustainable development goals and some of the things that ordinary people would most benefit from. So civil society does hold an important position as a go-between between these two organisations. That's the organisation of government and the private sector. So we'll have a think about that. And just a theme that we've developed throughout this unit is the idea that governments do hold responsibilities to their citizens to provide services. So there's always a danger here that we might start using civil societies as a cheap option for governments to provide services that they really should be providing. So we need to be very careful here that the government is not shirking their responsibility to provide the services and protection to its people by using civil society organisations. A key concept here might be that civil societies are very good at raising awareness, but less good at actually solving these problems. So we'll try and look at examples of organisations that have solved problems and civil society organisations that have merely raised awareness. Perhaps a good organisation that you could look at that has just raised awareness is Havas. Havas is part of that one-click democracy. So Havas, it highlights things and you'll get an email from it. And if you support that cause, you just click on it. That's very good at raising awareness. Actually doing something about it, that's somewhat questionable. So it could actually end up being detrimental because we get into this idea that as you've clicked on the Havas link, you support it and then job done, you've supported it and you don't do anything else. Obviously by itself, that click will not help. Raising awareness is really the first step. We might want to reflect on some of the charity work that we do in school. In school, we do an immense amount of very, very good charity work, but a lot of the campaigning, well, I'm going to say to you, to what extent does a lot of the campaigning that we do in school simply raise awareness? That's a question for you to be able to answer yourself. So the case study that we're going to look at is the World Wildlife Fund. So we'll just play this video that is by World Wildlife Fund and explains what they do. Now sure, he makes the sounds to come down. So I've paused the video there, so you can see that World Wildlife Fund definitely does raise awareness, and they've got campaigns in this slide that we can see is a march, but WWF also actively does stuff. So they go into the field and they have field programs to help solve some of the problems that they have identified. And you've seen that in their video, for example, the work they're doing here with rhinos, work they're doing with local people, helping local people to grow food in a sustainable way and achieve their food security. So WWF is one of those examples of an organisation that both raises awareness, that's a key part of what they do, but also they actually solve the problems. So as an international organisation, they've been quite effective at doing that. Okay, so we'll stop that there. So their tagline here is "Together Possible." So again, we're going to use that word leverage. We've used that quite a lot in this paper, in these paper 3 videos. So it's leveraging that understanding of what the problem is, leveraging the awareness, and then using that awareness to actually get stuff achieved. So that for WWF, that might mean making donations, but more usefully, it's actually people giving up their time. And you can see that we've got a number of professionals in the field working with WWF to solve those situations. So look at it in this terms. It's very important to raise awareness, and then that awareness needs to be leveraged to actually achieve outcomes. That awareness can be used to place pressure on corporations and governments to change what they are doing. So we're going to go on in the next video to have a look at the mission statement of WWF and start breaking that down and analysing it.